Testimony. Had to save Judahite woman from Malibu's most wanted Edomite. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI. The letter J in the English alphabet did not exist 2,000 years ago, so people are ignorantly calling the Messiah Jesus. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, who told me the truth of the Spirit. Single honors to the elect, peace and blessings to the 1/3, and to the confusion that faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I'm gonna get right into it. So I catch public transportation to my job, right? And as I'm on the bus, this young looking Malibu most wanted vanilla ice looking dude get on the bus smelling like straight ganja, marijuana. He had a skateboard. He dressed like, just a regular skater. You know what I'm saying? Now, what made me bring this up, because older, it's correct, kind of heavy set a little bit. Got tattoos and everything. He got on the bus, but I thought there were the two younger girls that was with him, that got on with him, was with him, but they wasn't. They were probably like in their late teens, And make a long story short, the bus driver, she didn't say this at the moment, but she was trying to make sure, hey girls, you gotta have your fare, you gotta have your fare, you gotta have your fare. And then Malibu most wanted, yo, they girls, just let them on the bus, running his mouth and everything, So the girls pay their fare and everything, whatever. So I got my headphones on, and Issachar said something that was real though, and I respect him on that, because as Malibu kept running his mouth like it was an issue, he wasn't being disrespectful, but he was still running his mouth. Issachar was like, you gotta understand, there's cameras all on this bus, she has a job that she has to do, yada yada yada. This is my first time I said something about it. I said exactly. So all that extra shit ain't even necessary. And I just looked at him, and he was like, did a little cross thing, my bad. That's how I know, it's a little devil right here. It's a little fuck. He think he a wigger, little devil. So time goes on. He in his feelings and shit. Time goes on. We finally get to the end of the route, and he getting off. As he pulls the string, he's trying to walk while the bus is in motion. He's stumbling all to the bus, dropping his phone, all kind of crazy shit. I'm like, what's going on with this dude? I already know he inebriated. I can smell it on him. You know what I'm saying? From the whatever. So the public buses, they have like this little plexiglass door that you can open and close that keeps a barrier between them and the customers, because some years ago, some crazy dude ended up stabbing one of the bus drivers in the neck and take their life, unalived them. So as he's standing there, he's like, can I get your name? Can I get your number, your employee number, all this kind of crazy junk? And then he's trying to take a picture and all this kind of junk. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, you holding up the line. He's like, fuck you. I said, no, thank you. I'm not gay. He was like, what? So I was like, yeah, he a little punk, man, whatever. So like another 20 seconds goes on. He's still not, getting off the bus. So she opened the door. He don't want to get off. Open the door. So I'm going to work. So I get up, and then I walk over right to the front where the bus at, and he backs off the bus. I said, yeah. I see your ass. I'm straight up. I said, yeah, I see your ass moving. The man's up here. Yeah. That's what I thought, man. Get your ass up the road. He was like, yo, he's my uncle. His uncle pulled up looking like fucking Ernest. You know what I'm saying? The dude Ernest that played in the movies. So he go to the back of the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like where the side door at, with his skateboard and everything. Like he gonna hit the bus. I'm like, come on, do it. What you gonna do? I said, man, you pussy, man. You a pussy. He got mad. What up, bitch, nigga? I said, man, you wussy, man. You a pussy, man. You want to be black. And then he had a cigarette. He took a cigarette and threw his cigarette at the bus. I should not have enticed him. But for one, you trying to threaten her because you trying to be all big and bad. And also, I'm trying to get to work. Get your emotionally damaged ass off the bus, because she was in it, because Issachar spoke, he looked like he was straight up from West Coast, I ain't gonna even lie. Issachar spoke some truth, and I backed him up, like, yo, shut the fuck up. Nobody ask you all that. But to make a long story short, after all that happened, the bus driver was like, thank you so much for doing that. She said, because I am a woman. I am the weaker vessel, and you being... So she started talking like that. I was like, oh, okay. This is why I said it's a testimony. And what she said was, that girl always gets on the bus, and it's always a problem with her fare. So I'm like, okay, see? We don't see these people all the time. She see these people. She know these people. So Malibu most wanted should have just kept his mouth shut anyways. You know? But anyhow, and she was saying, you don't know who these people be these days, and I'm glad I know his face so he can't get on anymore. But I'm so glad you was here to do that, because most men, they wouldn't really do anything, especially with our people. That's what she was saying. And she was like, I am the weaker vessel, so I need a man. I believe in the Bible. I read my Bible. I said, I understand that. You know what? Even the scripture says, where there is no hedge, she was like, she said, the possession is spoiled. At that moment, it didn't really click, but she literally recited something that I quoted out of the Apocrypha. So then a minute go by, I was like, yeah, we just breaking bread. Like, it was real beautiful. We're breaking bread, talking about a man's role to protect the woman and all these things like that. And she was like, I'm just a woman. She wanted kind of, heavy set sister, whatever. Kind of talk kind of obnoxiously, but she's not rude. She just talk obnoxiously. But I could just sense it in her, like she was just so happy that I was there to do that. And I said, do you read the 1611 King James Version Bible, the Apocrypha? She said, I don't read nothing else. That's all we read. We? She said, yeah. I said, your church? She said, yeah. So it was just that moment. Just lets me know that you women, no matter how, because like I said, she talks obnoxiously, sometimes can be kind of irritating. But at the end of the day, that woman, I seen it in her face, like, thank God you was here. They don't tell her what he could have tried to do to her. And there was 2 other dudes on the bus, and they no lie, they was scrawny. They wasn't gonna do nothing. And he wasn't gonna do nothing either. He was probably like 6 feet tall, 110 pounds soaking wet, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even about being physical. It's a simple fact that she was a woman and he's a man. And one thing I tell you about Esau, he's a fucking coward. And I told her this too. I said, they always attack our women and our children. I said, suddenly will they attack the men, but if they do, more than likely they'll jump us. And that's what he tried. He gonna try and pull that stunt like I wasn't gonna do something. And he was all shook after that. Like, bro, you ain't finna be trying to, jump on our women. Like, I don't care how ratchet our women are and things like that. I'm not down for Esau just jumping on our women. That's a cowardly move. But hey, if our women want to fight a man, hey, you gonna hey, lick your wounds when you're done. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to bring that out. A quick testimony. Sirach chapter 36, verse 25. Where no hedge is, where no man is, there the possession is spoiled. Because the scripture says, he that getteth a wife getteth a possession. Matter of fact, let me start that. Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. Common, okay. A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. Verse 25. Where no hedge is, the man, there the possession is spoiled. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. So that woman could have easily been, without a man, could have been taken. Even though he's scrawny, she bigger than him, she probably could have got the best of him. She had outweighed him almost twice as much. I'm just being honest. He's still a man at the end of the day, a young man at that. So going to a quick precept in Isaiah 32, and I'm gonna close out. Like I said, it's a quick testimony, and I also have another testimony I have to bring out too, where I didn't get into it, but it was like a kind of somewhat of a fervent back and forth about the scriptures about heaven and hell, and he tried to use Lazarus as a scripture in Luke. He kept saying Luke 16, Lazarus, that which he literally think that's hell. And I said, sir, do you know what a parable is, right? I said, so you believe in that literally? And me, I'm sorry, man. I went to my old ways. I was like, see, that's why I can't take Christianity seriously, man. I said, that is dogma to me, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. That's fictitious. I was insulting, but I kept apologizing after I was insulting him. But it wasn't really an insult. It was just the truth. I'm like, that's dogma. That's fictitious. I said, you really believe in heaven? I said, you really believe in heaven and hell? So you telling me there ain't no heaven? In Genesis, it said hell. So it's a whole nother story. But going back to the book of Isaiah chapter 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. That's what a man gonna be like in that day. Even in Isaiah 13, it's saying a man shall be more precious than the fine gold of Ophir. I remember something Kevin Son used to say to the women. He'd be like, y'all worrying about the money, y'all worrying about these issues and this and that, when you had the whole man there. And now you don't have him no more. And now you need things done. You need things fixed. You need things taken care of. You need issues solved, problem solved, and you don't have the whole man there. You know, and that's the thing. Like, even in America, a man making $30,000 a year annually, you are in the top 1% globally. Let that sink in, y'all. If you're making $30,000 a year, you're in the top 1% annually. But women say a man making $30 couldn't even sniff their drawers. Definitely get a rude awakening in these days. But anyhow, with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edifying, fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwame Allah, Shalom.